Okay, so these are the results from my commitment survey self-assessment. Um, I didn't score myself on a five on anything just because I feel like there's always room for improvement. Similarly, I didn't score myself a one on anything um, because I think that um, I am self-aware enough to know where my weaknesses are, and I have made some strides to do some things. Some of the questions that I scored myself a four on are, um, for example, consistently demonstrating an unwavering determination to succeed. If there was a question that I would have scored a five on, it would have been that one. I think I'm almost obsessed with it in the sense where one of my deepest fears is regret and not being successful. I think that the biggest issue with that is that I don't necessarily have a definition of what success looks like to me. So I'm always striving for something a little bit more. Um, but I give myself a four on that. Um, and another question is I regularly ask coaches to come to practice early and stay late and work on individual skills with me. Because we are associating these questions with what we do um, from a school standpoint, from a career standpoint. I mainly answer these questions from a school standpoint in the sense where if I don't know something, I'm more than okay with asking for help. Um, because I always want to make sure that I'm getting it right or at least on the right track um, to complete my objective. And then again, I engage in behaviors that help me improve as an athlete or as a scholar. Um, Meaning, I always want to stay abreast. For instance, I always want to make sure that I'm writing in APA format and just kind of citing things. So things like that is the reason why I gave myself a four, but I can always do better. So it'll probably pretty much stay at a four. One of my biggest areas of improvement, and I think the one that I scored the lowest on, is I never cut corners in my training, or in this instance, my schooling. And I say that because I've always been able to kind of just get by writing papers at the last minute throughout high school and undergrad, and even sometimes in my master's program, even though now it's more because of my schedule conflict. But I've always gotten A's on my paper, and whatever it is, maybe it's God's gift of the ability to write or whatever. But I always tell myself, all right, this time on this paper, I'm going to maybe work on 2 pages this day, and the next day I'll work on another 2 pages, and then on the due date, then it'll become a 10-page paper as opposed to waiting to the day of. And even though the results become the same, my anxiety levels are a lot higher, and that's something that I definitely want to work on, and I think it'll help me in the long run.